You know, it says cinnamon, malt extract, molasses, nutmeg in a cereal. Boy, that's some classy cereal. Happy birthday, everybody. Welcome to Cerealsly, where we take cereals seriously. My name is Alex, and I haven't chewed gum since 6th grade, which was over 30 years ago for me. One day in 6th grade, a kid next to me in class said, "Hey, you want a piece of gum?" And I said, "No, thank you." And I've been saying that ever since. There's no reason, really. It's just now become a record for me that I cannot imagine breaking. If you've unnecessarily sworn off any completely harmless, actually enjoyable snacks, I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Today on Cerealsly, we're going back to the realm of what I have called top shelf cereals. That doesn't mean they're good. Instead, here it is. My observation is that most supermarkets organize their giant, excessively expansive cereal aisles first by brand. So General Mills will all be in one zone, and then Post, and then Kellogg's, and so on, with Malto-Meal or the other bagged discount cereals on the end. And of course, then there is the healthy cereals, the keto, the granolas, those super weird Ezekiel cereals, sometimes even Special K's. Those are often on the opposing wall of the aisle, giving the yummy cereals the stink eye. But within the brand zones in any given cereal aisle, the next organizing principle seems to be to maximize the eye line of kids. I'm not the first to make this observation. I think it's true. So fruity, colorful, fun cereals usually start one shelf up from the bottom and stop one shelf down from the top. That is the perfect place for kids to grab one of their favorite cereals and carry it, screaming and crying, through the supermarket until their parent gives in and buys it for them. But that leaves two zones, the bottom shelf and the top shelf for the, say, less snappy cereals. These are the cereals that you can always rely on, the ones with staying power. They don't have the same need to show off any sort of contemporary moxie like the other ones do. These are the Morgan Freemans, the Tom Hankses, the Dame Judi Denches of the cereal world. Now please forgive me, if these are actually on the bottom shelf at your store, I get it, but I've always thought of these as top shelf cereals. They're up there, out of the way. You can find them, but you may need to ask a nearby young man to help you get it down. Crispix, which we reviewed a few weeks ago, is definitely in this category. Others, Basic 4, Raisin Nut Bran, those live up there, and sometimes a stray muesli box gets abandoned by their side. It's a strange crew, those top shelf cereals. And today, we're going to venture back up to that top shelf to explore a cereal that is a personal favorite of some of my closest friends, Cracklin Oat Bran. All right, here I have got the cereal for today, Cracklin Oat Bran. Let me just start by saying that I think Cracklin Oat Bran is one of the worst names for cereal ever. I have no idea what they're referring to with the cracklin part. I don't know what cracklin is, but it is not this cereal. For some reason, cracklin makes me think of the sound that pork rinds make when you eat them. That's cracklin. Still, there are so many good, unique things about this cereal that it is wonderful. First, look at the stout little box that it comes in. This stuff is heavy. You don't need that much. It is a hearty cereal. And I like that sticks out, because sometimes when I buy, and you can see some behind me, some of the more trendy cereals, they're in huge family-sized boxes. I don't know that they've ever sold Cracklin Oat Bran. Can you even imagine? People wouldn't be able to pick it up. It's that heavy. Plus, we have got to talk about this very unique shape. I was going to say it's a square, but it's not really. It's like rectangle, and it starts thicker than it ends. So it's got this rounded top to it. I love this shape, slightly rounded rectangle size thing. It is amazing. What I have always thought they should do is come up with a way to do different variations on the cereal with that space filled up with different flavors. For instance, I've always thought like a raisin mash in there would be amazing. I often put raisins in my bowl of Cracklin Oat Bran. And also, you know what would be good? Different like compotes, like strawberry or even apricot, filled in the whole of the Cracklin Oat Bran. Those would be amazing, incredible. I think I'm imagining those things in my head, those like Pepperidge Farm butter cookies with the jam on top. I think this would be a similar experience with that gummy jam texture in the middle. Kellogg's, you're not watching, but if you were, let's give that a try. Wouldn't that be interesting to diversify Cracklin Oat Bran? Maybe that's not what happens. Maybe that's part of being a top shelf cereal, that variations very rarely happen, and if they do, they're short-lived. Again, I would be fascinated if anybody knows. I could just do the research myself, but it's more interesting to hear from you. If you know that Cracklin Oat Bran has had variations in the past, I would love that. Like I said, we cannot get past the idea about how dense this cereal is. It is so unbelievably heavy. I've talked about this with some of my friends. These have an absolute health halo about them. We think they are healthier than they are. They are not. Do you understand how calorie dense these are? I'm looking at it. It is 230 calories for only 3/4 of a cup. That's outrageously dense. So when you eat this, and that's why they come in a little box like this anyway, you do not need many to enjoy them. And these have an amazing taste. There's a secret ingredient that makes it a winner, and that is coconut. The website lists it as coconut flakes. When I look here on the ingredients, it just says coconut, which I guess they don't have to specify if it's flakes or chunks or whatever. They used to, in the past, also have coconut oil in them. Now that has been changed to palm oil. I think it is still an incredibly unique, almost like an oatmeal cookie type of baked flavor. But remember, I'm setting this cereal up not only as good, but as a cereal aisle staple. It is a cereal that stands as a cornerstone that makes the cereal world work. You can have your zany, crazy new things, but you need Cracklin Oat Bran out there watching you with that wise smile from the top shelf. I'm saying that Cracklin Oat Bran isn't just good, it is right. But what do you think? Does this deserve its quiet but honored place among the other top shelf cereal elders? Friends, it's time to eat some cereal. All right, I have got all set up here. Of course, I've got my cereal. You already saw that. But now I've got my bowl, I've got my spoon, I've got some Skim and Pam, mixing it up in the office. That's a dumb one. But I got my skim milk, so we're going to enjoy this. Let's try some Cracklin Oat Bran. Look at this little guy, this little box. Let's get this thing open. Oh my, wow. It opened fine once I got my finger in there. Great bag. One of the best bags I ever opened. It wants to be eaten. Yum. It really has like an oatmeal cookie right out of the oven smell. Talk about comfort food. This is just that. Let's see what it looks like. Again, I don't want to pour all that much because, like we talked about, this is a dense cereal. It looks great, very consistent. It must lay flat on the conveyor belt or whatever that they're baking it on because it's obviously flat on one side and then obviously like curved on the other. So I kind of like every once in a while where you can tell, you can imagine how it's made in your brain. About how they make these things. Someday, if you know anyone at Kellogg's or General Mills or Post who is in the factory world and can give me a tour of a factory, I would love to see if my impressions match the reality that exists in the real world. To see a factory tour, man, oh man, that would be one of the life goals of the Cerealsly channel. All right, let me try some of these dry. You know what they're like, but every once in a while there's a box that I feel like sometimes is too hard, too tough. So let's see how these fare. These are perfectly baked. They crumble just the right way. Comforting, hearty. I feel like this cereal has integrity, like we should respect it. I don't usually do that with other cereals, show them honor and respect, but this one deserves it. I can taste cinnamon in there. Like I said, there's the coconut. Could it be vanilla? It says cinnamon, malt extract. That's a huge thing. That is amazing. Nutmeg in a cereal. Boy, that's some classy cereal. And then, of course, molasses. It says, I am really impressed with this list of ingredients. Other cereals do not come close to this kind of menagerie of positive things that we think of in comfort cooking. Now, it is mostly a sinking cereal. It goes to the bottom of a bowl. That's not a bad thing, but it is one of those things that keeps you on your toes because you're not sure if you're done. You have to keep sending your spoon down on a rescue mission to see if there's anybody left. Now, thank goodness, these don't get soggy fast. I don't think if we put them in a test that they would fail that sogginess quick test. Instead, they last for quite some time. Now, if you ever waited too long, some people really like that, where they do get mushy. I'm not a fan of that. I like eating them reasonably crunchy, just like I like all of my cereals. So let's give them a try here with milk. Fantastic. I almost said, thank you, sir, to this bowl of cereal. Because that's the kind of headspace I'm in with how much I think this cereal deserves respect. One thing I do notice here is you actually have to be careful not to take too many on your spoon. I am prone to that. Some of you have complained about that I put too much cereal on my spoon at one time. That's usually how I like it because I eat some pretty flimsy cereals. This one is so hearty. I highly recommend 2 to 4 pieces on a spoon so you don't get lost in crunching before the milk is all gone. One thought is striking me here that this cereal may be the polar opposite of Crispix. This cereal holds almost no milk at all. It almost looks like all of the milk I originally put in the cereal is still there, despite me having eaten 3-4 spoonfuls already of it. And that's just because the individual cereal pieces barely have any absorption in them at all. So you are really eating around the milk. The milk somehow hangs on the spoon, but that's it. You could take the biggest possible spoonful of cereal and you're still getting the exact same amount, very small amount of milk in every bite. That may be one of the reasons where I love this cereal but don't eat it very much. I really enjoy the experience in a bowl of cereal of the right ratio of eating lots of cereal and then drinking so the bowl is gone. Cereals for me that do that for sure are Crispix. That's actually heavy on the milk side. Things that are right in the middle are other classics. I mean, that's why I think I like Fruity Pebbles so much or Cap'n Crunch so much. Those things give you the right amount of I am eating, but I'm also finishing up with a beverage, lots of milk to enjoy alongside of it. Because of that factor, that I don't know if it's the perfect mix of milk and cereal that I love and have experienced. When it comes to ratings for Cracklin Oat Bran, it's got to be at least a 4. A little over 4. Let's just say 4. This is a 4 cereal. This is a constant in our lives. I hope it never goes away. I love this, the comfort it brings, the respect it deserves. I am a fan of Cracklin Oat Bran. 4 out of 5 for my final review. Well, friends, we have done it all. We talked, we ate, we experienced as much Cracklin as any one YouTube channel should in a single day. I really enjoyed the cereal. Remember, I gave this a solid 4 out of 5, a solid rating for a solid cereal. If you want to try today's cereal for yourself, it is available at any of your local supermarkets, and it always will be. And if you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with what cereal we should look at together in a future episode. Until then, never be soggy, my friends. Bye-bye.